What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1
and Docile Creature.
And once again, this trio of dudes is back to answer questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get those questions first. We also have super thanks if you want to support the channel. If you enjoy listening to us talk about nonsense like 40K, hit us up with a super thanks. Ask us a question, and we will answer it guaranteed in the next episode. We might even make it a thumbnail question. And we are blessed to have Docile Creature here. He is the third member of the One Mind Syndicate podcast channel, where we review the Horus Heresy Primarch novels. We've done a couple of them so far, so go check that out. You can see more of Docile Creature and his craziness.
Wow, how crazy.
But let's get into the questions.
You got it?
Yeah. This question comes from Mitra B420. Who is your favorite named character?
Argletal.
Yeah, you've talked about it before. Tell us who he is.
Argletal.
Not that I don't know, because I read the wiki.
Is a word bearer dude back in the heresy days that was the first ever to become possessed by a demon. And it's so good. He's like like I say word bearer, I say possessed by a demon, and you're probably like, ew, yuck, that guy's probably a piece of shit. But in reality, he's so likable. Like, he's human. He just happens to have a demon inside him at the same time. And they're not like 40K possessed. They're just like, there's a demon in a body and the dude's gone. There's a symbiotic relationship that is just super cool.
So he's basically Venom.
Don't say that. But yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. And then you can find him in what books?
The First Heretic, all the word bearer focused heresy books, I believe. And he has a super bro-y relationship with Karn, who is another awesome character in the Horus Heresy. So like that's just more points for him in my book.
Yeah.
Argletal.
Okay. Cool.
It's interesting, because for me, I'd say it's Caldor Drago. This guy is OP as you can get. He takes names, asks questions, never. He beat Mortarion, a demon Primarch, in a 1v1 fight, to the point where even like the writers were like, whoa, let's go back here. And then it turns out that he beat him because he knew his true name and he had help with other Grey Knights, but he still beat him nonetheless. So a regular Space Marine can take out a demon Primarch. That's pretty badass.
That's one of the rare situations where I feel that the writer who was creating that character really went overboard.
Matt Ward.
Yeah, because he is just a Grey Knight, and he's doing Primarch level shit.
Technically, Gilliman fought against him in like the newest lore, and he died too.
Yeah.
Gilliman died?
Gilliman died.
The Emperor had to save him.
Yeah, Emperor resuscitated him mouth to mouth.
That's insane.
Some Tom Brady shit.
It's a good thing, though, that they kept that concept, though, right?
Some Tom Brady shit, yeah.
I think for me, my favorite character is WAAAGH. He's an orc war boss.
He's an orc.
Freak, yeah. And he's just like your typical crazy, wacky orc. Rides a bike of the apocalypse, lit himself on fire, crashed into a Titan, destroyed the Titan, and then now he put a warp drive on his bike, so he goes from galaxy, or I guess sector to sector, just creating WAAAGHs. And
so he's cool. Ghost Rider.
He's Ghost Rider. He's an orc Ghost Rider.
Let us know your favorite named character down below. And why is it Marvel-ified?
Yeah, what's the Marvel counterpart?
Oh, yeah. Who would be the Marvel counterpart of
Drago?
I don't know. I'm trying to think like some Superman-ish guy that like wins fights that he shouldn't win. Captain America?
Thor?
But Thor is like a beast in the comics.
True.
Captain America is just a super soldier that like wins against like, deities.
True.
Yeah. Next question comes from Aaron Trujillo. Do you think Sanguinius will ever come back to the or the Emperor will come back from his condition? So it's kind of two questions: Sanguinius and the Emperor.
So I don't like it when officially dead characters come back, because I feel it takes away from their death and their sacrifice. However, it's been said time and time again that the Emperor is going to kind of come back in one shape, way, or form. Newest lore is that he's going to come back as the Dark King, which is the 5th Chaos God. I kind of want Sanguinius to stay dead, but at the same time, having a Primarch lead your army on the tabletop looks pretty badass. But still, keep Sanguinius dead. Maybe make like the Sanguinor more badass, or fill in some gaps in his lore.
Yeah, because I think the big difference between Sanguinius coming back and the Emperor coming back is that the Emperor, there was a setup. Like, we've been worshiping him as a god. He's becoming a god. And this is part of his master plan of, like, he saw it. He didn't want it to happen. But that's the whole concept of the heresy and stuff. Whereas with Sanguinius, it would just be coming back for the sake of probably selling and it being cool to have, like, a Space Marine with wings, you know?
Dollar bills for GW, because everybody likes the winged angel.
And that's why I think he probably will come back eventually, just because it would make a shit ton of money in some form. And I agree, I don't think he should come back, because death should mean something. But also, interesting tangent, Ferris, it is rumored that Ferris leads the Legion of the Damned. So if they came out with a Ferris Legion of the Damned mini, would you like that?
Yes, because his death
It would stay dead, right?
Yeah, like the sacrifice still happened. Fulgrim still fucked him over. So having this entity would be really cool.
What if they did the same thing for Sanguinius? They brought him back like Legion of the Damnified.
I don't know why I think that would just be a cop-out. And I think it's because it was... his death meant so much to Horus, and it meant so much to the Emperor. I mean, that iconic image of Horus, like, standing over him. Then it kind of loses its whole thing if he just comes back, you know?
Yeah. Like, he has to be the martyred one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd still think it'd be really badass to see Sanguinius with, like, the black armor, the skull motif, the flames.
Flaming wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually what I talked about in one of my what-if scenarios for Warhammer 40K. Having the dead Primarchs come back through the Legion of the Damned.
Yeah.
Speaking of 50K, I think that's, like, the Emperor coming back, that would start 50K. That would be the end of 40K.
Well, I think the problem with the Emperor coming back, even though they're setting it up to, I don't think I would want an Emperor model on the tabletop.
Yeah, I don't want him to come back.
Yeah.
I don't think he will either, because I think they won't end 40K, because it's I mean, how do you make that transition?
Well, what if he becomes a god then? So he would come back, but it wouldn't be like... There could even still be a corpse on the throne, but there is an entity in the warp that is fighting with chaos. Because if you think about it, we can't play Khorne, we can't play Nurgle, we can play greater demons. So if they bring him back as a god, he'll be an entity that we talk about. We might still have models that represent him as like greater demons, but not
Actually, guys, every time we play demons, they're actually the actual manifestation in the physical plane of the gods. So we are playing Khorne, we are playing Nurgle.
It's just a shard of them, right?
True, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess there's good ways of making both return, or good ways of keeping them dead. I think Games Workshop will probably fail us and upset us. So. The Emperor comes back as a woman.
I mean, the Emperor has done that.
The form is constantly shifting anyway, so...
A little girl and a dog. It happened. You gave me like wide eyes. Like,
yeah,
what
I don't
did
know
you say?
that's a reference I didn't get, but sure.
Next question.
Austin Palmer 898. If you guys can pick one Space Marine faction that has fallen or been killed off to come back and be on the side of the Emperor, aka the good guys, who would it be and why?
Has been turned traitor, right? Because
either they're completely dead, wiped out, or they're fallen to chaos. Because we've kind of seen this already in the recent lore with the Fallen for the Dark Angels. Turns out they were never, actual worshippers of chaos.
Well,
they were
some
just,
of them were.
Some were.
But some weren't.
But for the most part, they were just like they didn't pick a side. They were just doing what they thought was needed to be done until their Primarch returned.
So I think that when that happens, it takes away some of the badassery of the Lost, or what are they called?
The Fallen.
The Fallen, yeah. Because there's no more mystery to them. Now you just know, like, okay, they've come back. And when I think of other chapters that could be redeemed, why would you want to go from something super cool, like let's say the Soul Drinkers? The Soul Drinkers is led by a War Master that turned into basically an arachnid hybrid thing. Why would you want to go back to being led by a regular chapter master, just like every other Codex Astartes compliant thing?
Forced to be Codex compliant.
Yeah, so I don't like that concept, and then I feel like the Fallen is probably going to fall into that.
We all tend to like villains more than heroes anyways, so why would we want to take a cool thing and make it less cool?
Yeah.
I can't think of a single faction off the top of my head that I'd want to see redeemed. Because, like, Iron Hands, or Iron Warriors I thought about, but, like, they're so cool as being bad guys.
Yeah, I feel like whole concept of going from Chaos to just being Renegades to being Imperial, nah.
Well, let's ask the better question. What Loyalist would you want to turn to Chaos? Chapter.
I thought about this a few times, and I think it'd be cool if the Space Wolves became some type of corrupted.
That's what I was thinking too.
Have like wolfen, actual
Werewolves.
werewolves, and it'd be really cool to see them just finally give in to their primal urges.
Along that same line, it'd be really cool for the Blood Angels to just go full vampire and like feral and just kind of like the Flesh Tearers, but like all the time.
Well, but the cool thing would be that they can have the same motif as the Night
Night Lords?
Yeah, Night Lords. Wings, like giant bat-like things. For some reason, when I was younger, I really wanted mounts. Like I really thought that like the Space Wolves on wolves was cool. Having Space Marines on giant like vampire dudes from Age of Sigmar, it sounds really cool, but at the same time it feels like not 40K.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, and then it would be cool to see some of the very vanilla Space Marine chapters turn to Chaos. Like imagine Imperial Fist, but then they become like, because Imperial Fists are known as siege warfare, or not siege warfare, city warfare, but turn them into like chaos. And how that could
become the Iron Warriors?
No, because the Iron Warriors are similar, but not the same. Because I said so.
Okay.
But yeah, just playing around with that concept.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we'll never see Chaos Ultramarines because they've been painted as like the poster boy for Imperial 40K.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, just to see how you could turn some like Boy Scout into the opposite.
Yeah. Docile Creature, you were a Boy Scout.
Was.
How did you become corrupted?
I was like, I don't want to do this no more. So I stopped.
The will this man has.
Yeah.
Those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
The Docile Creature.
Gersh won. I don't know why I didn't respond, but yeah.
Yeah. Peace.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.